1, go live. Hey, welcome into the Snap Fantasy Football Podcast. We had football on the Friday, we have football on a Saturday, and we're going to finish off championship week with football on a Sunday. And if you are new to the stream, this might look pretty nice to you. If you're a long-time listener, you're someone who comes in on a weekly basis, this is a little bit different of a setup. We've got producer Scott down below. We got Lando right here, my guy. The three of us are together because we have some wonderful milestones to celebrate today. And 1,000 subscribers, boys. Cheers to you and this community. We're going to cheers again once more people are in the stream. But, man, what a ride, what a journey it's been. I put out a tweet last night that what a crazy and weirdly amazing Christmas it's been. Alvin Kamara drops the 50-piece. We're going into a 28-day lockdown in Ontario right now, as of midnight last night. Probably the best Christmas ever, and 1,000 subscribers. It's been wild.
Yeah, it's been crazy, Mack. I'm super proud of everyone here. Scotty, we got Mack, you guys are killing it. The graphics look phenomenal. Producer Scott's keeping us on track, on target. We're here for the people today. We're here to answer all your start-sit questions. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. Our goal was 1,000, but we're not done. We need to get to that 2,000 mark now, and every subscription counts, and hopefully you win your championship while we're at it.
You might on the back of Alvin Kamara, that's for damn sure.
You might. Scotty, producer Scott is in the house. Scotty, what's going on, my friend?
Well, today is a awesome accumulation of better part of 2 years of work for on all of our parts. So I think it's fitting that it falls on Championship Saturday. I know Mack had just way too much fun watching Kamara go all Madden style last night, but should I say rookie mode actually last night? But yeah, I think it's fun to just take a minute and kind of celebrate with the community that got us there. I know all season long we've had a lot of mainstays coming on every week, and we love building the community out every week. So just tip of the hat to the boys. This is the start of great things, and 2021 plans are already in progress. So watch out. Next year is going to be huge.
So we got my boy Matthew Mag in the chat. We've talked on YouTube on the comments a little bit. He's struggling between a flex play, between maybe not even a flex, but he needed 2 of 4 players, and it came down to Leonard Fernette or Josh Jacobs. Now, he's thinking Fernette has the bigger game. He has the ability to get into the end zone, and he's leaning Leonard Fernette over Josh Jacobs. Is that crazy in championship week, given how much Josh Jacobs touches the football?
I don't think it's crazy, Mac. It's such a good matchup against Detroit. When it comes to championship week, I mean, you got to go with your gut sometimes. And if you're feeling Leonard Fournette, like, who are we to push you away? I personally would start Josh Jacobs, even in a tougher matchup against Miami. I think we've seen it all season long from Josh Jacobs. He's had these monster games. He hasn't had to rely on the 2 to 3 yard touchdown falling in the end zone. But he gets those too. Like, I've seen him get those as well to save matchups better with Fournette. He's still alone in that backfield. Better offense. Still lean Jacobs, but not by a ton. So if you got that feeling, Matt Mag, you got to stick with your.
It isn't a full PPR, so that does make a tiny bit of a difference. Josh Jacobs.
Fournette will catch the ball.
Leonard Fournette's a pass catcher as well. I just think Josh Jacobs touches the ball a whole lot. His floor is a lot safer, in my opinion, just for the workload. But the touchdown upside sure does in a really nice matchup against Leonard Fournette. So, Matt, like we've chatted on YouTube, you just got to kind of go with your gut there. And like Landon said, this is championship week, man. We can give you as much analysis as we want, and we can tell you what we would do, but it's not our team. It's your team, brother. So you got to make that decision. But I think the safer play is with Jacobs, and I think the upside is comparable. So you got to go with what you think.
Absolutely.
Wesley, flex spot, Tyler Lockett or David Johnson in a full PPR. Producer Scotty, what would you do there, brother?
Sorry, you're going to have to hit me up one more time. I am blasting Twitter to get the word out there. So who
Tyler
are we
Lockett
talking?
Or David Johnson in a full PPR.
Oh God, you know what? I'm gonna have to go with my boy Lockett. It feels like every time I roll out David Johnson when it matters, he just finds a way to let me down. I'm gonna say Lockett. I think there's enough to go around. I think DK bounces back, but I think Lockett also bounces back with a solid game.
It should be noted that Duke Johnson could play this game, so David Johnson's involvement has been really good lately. But Dukey's back and he catches the football, so I think. Reward player. He's been busting your team lately a lot. So you'd have to be going with really. It's hard to project him for a good game, but this is a Scotty likes Lockett.
He still is always Wilson's safety.
And people will point to the earlier matchup that these two teams had where the Rams came out, did the Seahawks come out victorious? 23-16, I think what the score was. And DK Metcalf was held to 2 catches. Now, he'll get the Jalen Ramsey treatment once again. And that might give Tyler Lockett a tiny bit of a boost. That might give Russell a little bit of a nudge to sort of go his way over DK. Much easier matchup. So you can play that narrative if you want. I would personally roll out David Johnson just for the workload. But Landon does make a good observation that Duke Johnson coming back does lower the PPR floor for David Johnson just slightly. So tougher matchup for a better player, in my opinion, and I might go David Johnson.
Jason is asking, he's lost Terry McLaurin. Should I start Cole Beasley? His opponent has Josh Allen, or he has T.Y. Hilton in a much tougher matchup against Pittsburgh. I would go Beasley, man. I would go Beasley. He's been awesome. Yeah. Let me know. Oh, he did mention it's a PPR league, so even that is way better. Even better.
Yeah, I mean, Cole Beasley will still be involved, especially if Stephon Diggs is somewhat limited. He did practice in full, and he's ready to go for Monday, but it is a Monday game, and you never know. And I would say just how good Cole Beasley has been lately. His role has been really reliable and consistent. And in a PPR league, man, like Cole Beasley could walk away with double-digit receptions, dink and dunk all over the field, and no Stephon Gilmore. So really nice matchup for the Bills here on Monday.
Love that. Clayton, what's up, fellas? Need 2 wide receivers and a flex PPR. He's got Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson, A.J. Brown, Leonard Fournette, and Lev Bell. Do I go ahead and play Fournette at the flex with Allen and Robinson being questionable? I don't think Keenan Allen plays. I've been fading Keenan Allen all week long.
I agree with you, Landon. I think Allen Robinson and A.J. Brown are must-starts out of this group. And even if Keenan Allen does play, you saw what happened last week with the pitch count. And so if he does play, I think there's reason to believe that there's another pitch count. I think he does get limited to how much he's on the field. So if I was you, I would be going A.J. Brown, and I would be going Allen Robinson and Leonard Fournette over Lev Bell.
I like it.
Do we think Antonio Gibson suits up? And how relevant will he be if he does so? Let's add that piece to it.
Antonio Gibson has been one of those rookie studs that really popped off earlier in the season. I don't really want to play him coming off an injury if I could help it. And so if he does suit up, that just makes J.D. McKissic and Gibson unplayable to me. I'm not relying on Gibson. I mean, I don't have to personally. Right. So maybe you've been waiting for Gibson to come back, and you got to go with your stud because you've seen his ceiling be phenomenal. And what do you think, Mack? If he plays, are you playing Gibson?
I mean, you've been making arrangements to play without Gibson this whole fantasy playoffs, and if you've made it this far, you don't really need him. I think if Antonio Gibson doesn't play, that just means J.D. McKissic is an absolute must start. Whoever you have as your replacement for Antonio Gibson, I would lean that direction, just given the risk that you run with Antonio Gibson this week. So I would almost just make plans without him. It sucks, but you never know how much he's involved. If they'll continue to roll out J.D. McKissic in the role that he's been fairly successful in, there's really no reason that Antonio Gibson comes back from an injury that we thought would keep him out longer and get the full workload. It just doesn't make sense. I think it could be that.
I also think they have to be careful with, he's got to be the most popular and franchise cornerstone player almost on that roster outside of the defense. You do think outside of the defense, the defense is phenomenal, but you think they have to be a little cautious with just rolling him out at this point in the season if there's a long-term injury that could happen.
Yeah, no, you're right. Kicks, thank you so much for the 1K, brother. You are a part of that, so we appreciate you. Wouldn't be here without you. He said, who do you like the most between Chris Godwin, Myles Gaskin, Darrell Henderson, and Jeff Wilson Jr.?
Man.
For me, Myles Gaskin is a hands-off.
Okay, because and that's kind of a similar reason to Antonio Gibson coming off that injury. We've seen Miami be so good running the ball. Doesn't matter who is running the ball for them. They're good.
Well, it's just Ahmed, man. Has he not earned his stripes to get some workload? He's been fantastic.
Yeah, I think Gaskin rolls back into that number one role again.
If you think that, then he would be high consideration here for you, would he not?
Yeah, he's a running back 2 for me. But yeah, if he was healthy the whole time, just like Gibson, if they were both healthy the entire time, they would be top 12 running backs. So that's their ceiling. It's just with this injury concern and not being able to play, COVID risk with Gaskin, I'm not really sure how that. I think Gaskin is an upside play because if he gets all the work, I'm kind of thinking he will. But if you consider injury and maybe Ahmed like Mack is, then I like Henderson being by himself back.
We're really Kicks. We're gonna be no help here because I'm gonna go with Jeff Wilson. Just with Raheem Mostert out and Tevin Coleman really being irrelevant for fantasy football purposes, I think they lean heavily on Jeff Wilson today in a game that should be competitive. Those divisional matchups, man, they're always back and forth, always a bloodbath. And Jeff Wilson has had the big game twice so far for you this year, so I'm going to go that direction. I'm starting him in a championship matchup, actually.
Yeah, that's tough. But either way, I think you have a lot of really good options, Kicks, in my game. Your team is super solid. It's just everyone's in a very similar tier there. Both Godwin, obviously, he's got a ton of upside. Gaskin, Henderson, Jeff Wilson, they all do. Which one's going to have the biggest game? That's the real tricky part here today.
For me, Godwin is kind of a hands-off unless you need to play him. I'm playing Godwin over DJ Chark just for how bad DJ Chark has been lately, but I don't feel great in starting Chris Godwin. I know the matchup is great, but the volume just hasn't been there for him, and I don't know if that finger's still bothering him from the surgery he had, but it hasn't been good.
Yeah. Ben is asking, pick 3, Jacobs, Monty, Eckler, Fournette.
Oh, my boy. Let me tell you first, David Montgomery is going to win you a fantasy championship. Let me tell you. I tried to tell you that in week 8 and week 9, and here we are in week 16, and it's coming to fruition.
And then I think it's Eckler as your for sure number 2.
Yeah, and Josh Jacobs is going to be the third piece. Just from what we talked about earlier, I understand that the game script for Leonard Fernette is so high and that it projects to be so good. But if he doesn't get into the end zone, I really don't think that the volume will be here for him. And so I think with this mix of running backs you have with the upside, with the big playability, you don't need to get cute. You don't need to try to maximize. I think you just got to build that floor up. And Josh Jacobs with his workload will give you the floor that you need to win. I think that if you play Fournette, there is a chance that he busts.
Love that. I know. I have that kind of feeling as well.
Between Gronk, Godwin, Antonio Brown, and Mike Evans, this Lions secondary is going to have no chance to defend them through the air. So why would you just pound the football? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. They could run through the air. I'll lead for a good Chris Godwin game. I want to welcome in Anthony G, Cobb, D Woods, Griffin's here as always. Wesley, Tim.
Enrico Mueller.
Thanks for coming by, guys. Enrico, thanks for coming by, guys. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel. If you're new, we just reached 1,000 subs, but we're trying to get to 1,100 today. We are a selfish group of guys here. And let's get to 100 likes on the video. Can we do it? We're here in the holiday season, trying to make you win or trying to help you to win a fantasy championship. Give us a thumbs up. It means the world to us. Share us with your friends if you want to play in our listener league next year.
We're also in lockdown in the province of Ontario, so this is the best use of our time right now. Enrico says, should I start Leonard Fernette over Jonathan Taylor and Deandre Swift?
So we're going to fade Fernette today then, I assume.
No, I mean, no. We can have these conversations. It's fine. Look, when you look at game script in this Bucks versus Lions game, like the game script is a lot better for Leonard Fournette. So if you want to go Leonard Fournette over DeAndre Swift, I'm fine with that. I would not start him over Jonathan Taylor though.
Yeah. So I think you're right. And if it's in a PPR league, we know that DeAndre Swift is going to get those targets. The Tampa Bay Bucks have been really bad against pass catching running backs. So if you're hoping that that's the game script and he could get, 7 or 8 targets, that's possible for DeAndre Swift. But I get it. It's Tampa Bay. It's tough. It's not a good matchup. So the safety play is Leonard Fournette. I still is in a good spot against Pittsburgh, even though their defense historically throughout the season has been very good. They haven't looked good lately. And Taylor, I need him to have a big game.
I think a bunch of us do, Lando, and I'm not afraid of this Pittsburgh defense. Let me tell you that. If Juju can keep dancing on those logos, I think we'll be in really good shape today.
That's it.
Okay, let's try to double time these and get through them. We've got a bunch of questions to get to. Drowsy loves comp. Landon, I'm going to let you handle this one. He's back with the same question. Needs a flex in a full PPR league. T. Higgins, George Kittle in his return, T.Y. Hilton, or Kiki QT. Where do you lean of that group?
Man,
just for reference, we've got George Kittle as about a top 7 tight end this week. Guys that we would start over him, Robert Tonyan. I'm going to give T.J. Hodgkinson another go in a potentially pass-heavy game script for the Lions. And then obviously your Wallers, Andrews, Kelsey, those guys are in your lineups. But it's the Robert Tonyan, T.J. Hodgkinson, Logan Thomas area that we're kind of drawing the line with George Kittle this week.
Yeah, I think it could be T. Higgins for in a good matchup. I do think Kittle has a ton of upside. We could see him have 80 yards and a touchdown, no question. It's just if you're willing to take that risk, Drowsy, that's the big question. Yeah. Kittle's a superstar name in there. He's the name that kind of my eye gravitates towards being like, listen, if you have the manscaped balls to start, you got to do it. But I think like T. Higgins has been great. They have a good matchup. And Kiki is good too. I'm kind of fading T.Y. Hilton of these options in a tricky matchup versus Pittsburgh, though.
Scotty, we got one for you in a full PPR league. Start 2, Antonio Gibson, Myles Gaskin, Gio Bernard, Darrell Henderson, or Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, dang. That's tough.
You know what? I'm going to go with my boy Henderson one more time. I'm willing, now that I know that how that backfield's shaking out, I'm willing to give him one more try. Oh boy, I feel like every time I go against Geos, but I'm going to say Henderson for sure. What do you boys think for the number 2? What's the B?
You're going to have to take a shot on one of these two guys, Gibson or Gaskin. To me, kind of Lev Bell is in a good game script, but you're kind of going that way with Darrell Henderson. So if you want to be super safe, you go Henderson Bell. And you keep that ceiling kind of low. If you want the big game, I think Gibson is the way to go.
I was gonna say if there is any situation where you want to be following that closely, but Gibson definitely has the potential to go off. He just has the lowest floor of anybody who's playing this week too.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that because he isn't confirmed to play as of right now, whereas Myles Gaskin is. So between Gibson and Gaskin, if Gibson doesn't go, Gaskin is your upside play. But if you want to be super safe, Henderson, Bell, I'm not considering starting Gio.
All right. We just got news that the Jaguars are going back to Mike Lennon at quarterback. which I don't know what that means. A revenge game for Glennon playing the Bears again, but
Mike Glennon's played on about
Tampa
every
Bay Buccaneers
team in the NFL.
All-Star.
What's
Mike
that?
Glennon's played on about every team in the NFL. Every
I
week's a
know.
revenge game.
It's I kind of liked, like, I know you don't want to start DJ Chark anywhere, but I kind of liked DJ Chark a little bit more with Minshew at quarterback. So, I mean, this gives you even more cause to sit down Chark in any matchup. I got to find a replacement for him in my championship matchup today.
Griff says, yo, what's up, Griff? My boy. Hopefully you're doing well. He said, would you slot Kittle in or Hodgkinson into the flex? He's got Waller at the tight end. He's got Marvin Jones and Brandon Ayuk as considerations, as well as Lynn Bowden. It's in a PPR league. He's supposed to win by 30. He's kind of playing with his food here. I don't think that you play George Kittle. I think that you don't have to get cute.
Yeah.
I think you roll out TJ Hawkinson if you want to. If you feel like Marvin Jones is the better play, you roll him out there. I would rather go Hawkinson over Marvin Jones, but I think you play one of those two lines and you don't roll out Kittle.
Yeah, I like Ayuk there playing. Even with Kittle playing in that matchup, I still think Ayuk has a super safe floor. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't get cute there, Griff.
No. Bob, what's up, fellas? Congrats on 1,000. Thanks, my man. Bob was sharing up on his Instagram and Twitter, so we appreciate that support. Everyone played a role in us getting to this little milestone, which for you guys might not seem like a lot, but it means a ton to us. It's this community is awesome. We love it. Cop,
Absolutely.
do I trade Mark Andrews for the 110 and 105 in Dynasty? Yep. You absolutely do.
Yeah, I like that. Who else do you have at tight end there?
Doesn't matter. With the 110, you could go Kyle Pitts, and 105, you could grab yourself like a Rondell Moore or Chuba Hubbard or something like that. I would definitely do that.
Love that.
Griff also has a second question. My chat just jumped here. McKissick, Parker, Lockett, Beasley at the flex in a full PPR.
Beasley, I think, is where I'd go.
I would as well. Tim Roberts, pick 3, Jarvis Landry, Chris Carson, James Robinson, who didn't practice this week for 3 straight days, so he's really kind of a questionable tag. DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Taylor, DJ Moore, first place game.
Lots of good players on this one, Tim.
Jonathan Taylor,
and I also like Chris Carson.
Well. Okay, perfect. So Jonathan Taylor, and Chris Carson, who's your third?
Jarvis Landry.
I'm going there too.
Yeah.
The matchup is so good. The dependency for Baker on Jarvis Landry has been fantastic. Like James Robinson, I know that he's wanting to play, and I know that if he does play, he'll probably be pretty solid, but I don't want to take that chance. I know Jarvis Landry is locked and loaded. And you've got the upside in Chris Carson and Jonathan Taylor. So, I would go Landry, man.
Yeah, sorry.
I feel great going Landry this week. That reliance is just unbelievable. I love watching it.
Fantastic. What'd you say, Lando?
Wesley's out now for week 16. You know what? That's funny because I thought he was ruled out all week. I heard on a podcast that he was playing. So thanks for the clarification. That does give David Johnson a boost.
Lando,
for
would
sure.
you go Logan Thomas over Robert Tonyan?
No, I would go.
See them very similarly. I think Tonyan continues to be like a locked and loaded target for Aaron Rodgers right when they get in around the 20, and he's got the big play. Like you can see the trust with Rodgers and Tonyan building and building and building, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets into the end zone again. Whereas Logan Thomas still has that upside, but he's used between the 20s out of necessity. Like 15 targets last week is ridiculous. And
I know.
Dwayne Haskins likes to target that tight end, and so I think it's a difference of plays. I think the touchdown upside maybe is higher with Tonyan because of Aaron Rodgers, but the volume, the dependency on that position for Logan Thomas is going to be there for Dwayne Haskins. So really, I see them as very comparable plays, but they might just get to those fantasy totals a little bit differently. So you kind of choose what you want between touchdown upside and volume.
Yeah,
I think you're splitting hairs, though.
Yeah. D Woods is asking, would you trust Keenan Allen over Gage, the pitch count. Almost killed me last week with Allen, and Gage has been putting up some points the last few weeks. I would sit down Keenan Allen this week and just go with Gage,
hurts,
honestly.
It really hurts. What's the status on Julio Jones? The last I looked, he's out. Yeah, okay,
he's
good.
Ruled out.
So he is a no-go. So sure, yeah, why not? Munir, thanks for the question. Full flex PPR, Kittle, Godwin, or Drake. He's got Hurts or Rodgers, Browns or Rams defense, Carlson or Zerline. Munir, we are setting your entire lineup. These are the these are the funny ones. Okay, so I would go Browns defense. Rams defense is great, but
you like the Browns,
so the Seattle Seahawks can be great too. So I'm afraid of Russell Wilson. I don't want to play a defense against him. So Browns, my number one defense on the week. I would go Aaron Rodgers over Jalen Hurts. The only way I go Jalen Hurts over Rodgers is if I played Kamara last night.
I was just gonna say,
and I've got to recoup about 55 points. I'm going to go Rodgers there, and then Carlson or Zerline. Who cares? Whoever plays in a dome, go with that. Kickers are dumb. I would probably go Zerline. Kittle, Godwin, or Drake in a full PPR. Where do you lean out of those three?
And this is the tough one here. Drake hasn't really been good. Edmonds has been in and out of that lineup, being the pass catcher. Godwin also hasn't been great, and we haven't seen Kittle. So your upside, based on your team, if you start with Rodgers and go with Browns D, whatever, if you need a safer upside play, I think you just go with Kittle and hope that he is the monster he was. There's no reason for you to play Godwin except for the name value on Godwin. So roll with Kittle and hope and pray he's back to himself, and that's what we got to do in championship week. It's a tough. He's high risk, high reward. He might a decoy out there. He might be a decoy and running half speed. That's the risk you're going to take with Kittle. That's why it's a high risk play. He could get 3 targets, no receptions. That's in the realm of possibilities. That's not in the realm of possibilities for Godwin or Drake.
Godwin. Yeah, I would personally go Chris Godwin. So if you're not willing to have the Manscaped balls to put him out there, I would certainly roll Chris Godwin. I think the matchup is really good. Hopefully his volume is better. But for the same reasons, I'm rolling out Antonio Brown this week, because I think between the three of them, one of them's going to have a big game. So I'm kind of taking that dice roll. So I would go Godwin there, but I don't blame you if you follow Landon side and go with the top 5 tight end potentially. Anthony, start Russ, Brady, or Hurts. Also Kittle or Hodgkinson in a full PPR.
Out of those options, I'm going to sit down Russell Wilson.
Yeah, same.
So between Brady and Hurts, it's Hurts has the higher
100%.
upside. We had a question on YouTube today, and someone asked for the safest floor. And that's going to be Brady. Brady has the safest floor in a really good matchup. He could throw for 4 touchdowns. But Hurts could run for 2 and pass for 3. And that's the upside you have. He could have 100 yards on the ground and have a massive slate-breaking day.
And between Kittle or Hodgkinson, I would go Hodgkinson. I think a lot of people are going to fade him this week because of his horrendous game last week, and I just think that's a mistake. I think you have to go with TJ Hodgkinson.
Yeah,
it's risk. It is risk to roll Kittle out there, and I don't think that the ceiling is a whole lot higher this week, given the backup quarterback of C.J. Beathard, given a decent matchup against the Cardinals. I would roll Hodgkinson. Stafford is a difference.
I like it. Bounce back. If you made it through the fantasy playoffs with Hodgkinson starting, you're laughing.
Mark said he's currently locked down in Ontario too. You know what it is. Last night was midnight was kind of the deadline. Like, hide your kids, hide your wife, because they coming. It's crazy times, but we're happy to have you.
Woke up this morning and thought I should have got a haircut. Too late.
Yeah, that's
too late.
That flow is going to be wild, Scotty. You're already in a bad spot. It looks a little long.
It's getting there. It's going to be filthy.
When it starts covering your ears, you know you're in trouble.
Yep. Good thing I've got a Manscaped razor.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Griff said Justin Herbert or Josh Allen. Feel like it's a horrible question, but Herbert has a good matchup this week with Denver. I think they both have a good matchup with Stephon Gilmore being out, but you know that Belichick will be creative. You know he'll try to do his best to limit him. I think you're splitting hairs between two top 5 options. I really don't think it's a breaker. What's
make or break?
Make or break. Thank you. I don't think it's a make or break decision, man. Who do you think, Landon? I would personally lean Herbert.
I also lean Herbert. I want to shout out Drew in the chat. My girlfriend's here, congratulating us for our 1,000 sub goal. We are quarantined apart now, so it's she's in lockdown.
28 for you.
Sorry, that's it. More live streaming. More live streaming for the boys.
Bud Knight asks, is this from Twitter, Scotty? Beautiful. Henderson, Pollard, or Bernard? I would go Henderson.
I would go Henderson there as well if you had to pick one only. I think Zeke plays, so Pollard is out of the contention.
I'd go Henderson there too, so we can give it a three thumbs up from the boys.
Love it.
Kicks my game. Man, I got some decisions to make. LOL. Anyways, appreciate what you guys have been doing this year. Can't wait to see you blow up all the way. Y'all deserve it. You've been working so hard towards 1K. Congrats again. Man, thank you. Appreciate you. You've been here like each and every week, sometimes on like a Thursday when Landon does an odd stream. You're always here, and we appreciate people like you. You guys make this all possible. So we're encouraged to keep doing this. We're happy that you guys are enjoying it, and yeah, it's awesome. Matt Zevgalis, I think I got that one right. Injuries leave me with a choice of either Salvin Ahmed or Malcolm Brown. Any advice? I assume this is a deep league, either a dynasty league or like a 14 or 16 team league, based on those decisions. But man, is it worth scouring the waiver wire, or do you roll out Ahmed and hope that his workload kind of stays?
Yeah, that's probably where I would go. Malcolm Brown has touchdown upside, but we like Henderson this week, so we're expecting Henderson to get a touchdown and not Malcolm Brown in that matchup.
Yeah, you're kind of looking at who has the better chance to fall into the end zone, because both of them were kind of assuming that they have backup duties. Now, should something happen to Myles Gaskin or he not get the full workload, Ahmed is definitely the one with the higher ceiling. Right? Because we all kind of project Darrell Henderson to be the number one.
That's what we're projecting right now, yeah.
I think that one's close, Matt. I think I would go with Ahmed, given how good he's been. Like 22 carries for over 100 yards, heavily used. Maybe they don't roll Myles Gaskin, like what Scott said. They don't roll him out in full workload right away.
It's possible. So, yeah, I think that's the safe play. The touchdown upside I do think is in Brown, but whatever that means to you is
if you can get a touchdown out of one of these two guys, you probably got your money's worth at the position, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Mark Turco, need 2 of the 5: Marvin Jones, Mike Davis, Mike Evans, Russell Gage, or Chris Carson in a full PPR. Mike Evans and Chris Carson.
Yep, go with your studs. Go with the studs.
Start your studs. Listen to your gut, but start your studs in championship week. It's super important.
Don't hear what we're not saying, though. Don't not start your studs, but make sure to start your studs. Oh, man.
Lines.
Yeah.
Isaac, David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, or Myles Gaskin. I would go safe there with DJ. If you want to go, I don't know.
Yeah, go DJ. DJ.
With Duke Johnson not playing, it's like, how much work can David Johnson get again? Double-digit receptions. We know he's, like you said, a wide receiver that plays running back for this team, essentially. I would just go David Johnson. I don't believe Le'Veon Bell's a very good running back anymore. Like I think Darrell Williams could be on the field. That's kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hate it.
Yeah.
Noah, congrats on 1,000. Appreciate that. Good luck to you this weekend as well. Hopefully you can get some hardware. And hey, if you guys win any championship hardware, make sure that you send us a trophy shot of you with it. We'd love to compile all of our winners and put it on social media. So you can do that at @snap_fantasy. Right above me are all the handles to our channels. But send us a message and we'd love to see it. We'd love to see those trophies.
And I'd say thanks to a .08 finals or semifinals between me and Landon, I actually have no championship games this season. So if you want to go one step further and post your matchup going into the championship for today, I need some entertainment. I'm salty as hell. So send your matchups. I want to be cheering for the guys who've been in the stream all year long. So hit me with that
vicariously through the community.
I do not like it, but I'm here.
You are.
All right, Scotty, you got one here. Daniel Paz, down in a bad way, going up against Kamara. He's got Hurts, Devontae Adams, Ridley, Henry, Eckler as a lock, but I need an upside flex. Jonathan Taylor or Deontay Johnson. His team is great, good. Scotty.
I think you got to go JT if you're going for the overcoming the 55 bomb. I would go Taylor because that's actually the nuclear bomb that was dropped on my matchup with Landon that actually made up for, I believe it was 2 0 spots. So I'm not going to tell you to bench Jonathan Taylor when he put me in the ground.
Daniel, your lineup looks exactly like my opponent's lineup in the league that I have Kamara on my team. He's got Devontae Adams and Eckler and Henry. Man, I'm hoping for you. I'm praying for you. But at the same time, it's like,
so
I think you can get it done, man.
Henry
is the counterpunch to a 55-point Alvin Kamara performance. You know Henry could go off for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, right? Like the Green Bay Packers are not a good run defense. One of the worst in the league. I think bottom 3 is right what they are right now.
2 things. Make sure, Daniel, you congratulate your opponent right now on their win.
3 for 3, baby.
Daniel, go to that owner and be like, yo, it's been a great matchup. The better team won. I'll send you the trophy in the mail right now. And then your team's about to go off. Because Mackenzie, he has never won this league that he has Kamara in for 55 points. It's been written in stone that Mackenzie can never win the gridiron tradition. So your team is about to go nuclear right now.
It's literally going to happen. Derrick Henry, I said like 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns today. He is going to make Alvin Kamara look like a dummy. It's I think you've got all the pieces there, Daniel, to make the comeback. I love the Hurts play. Devontae Adams is locked and loaded. So is Derrick Henry. Like that game should be awesome. That Packers-Titans game. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor. Go with the guy who's just been fantastic with his workload the last 4 or 5 weeks. I think you just got to roll him.
Love that. I'm gonna go on Instagram, guys. If you two can get the next couple questions.
Yeah, for sure. Kimberly, Fournette over Swift. Come on, guys. Yes, I would do that, Kim. I think the game script is better for Leonard Fournette. So I would go with him. Depends if you're in a half or full. That does make it a little bit different. But Fournette, I think, just gets all the work. I don't think Keyshawn Vaughn will be too involved. And maybe we'll see some LaShawn McCoy, but it should be the Leonard Fournette show. So do that.
I feel like Fernette at the very least is going to get you enough touchdowns to cover that.
Yeah, he's probably a lock for at least a score, in my opinion. But I think it'll be tough sledding for the Lions potentially. On the ground, anyways, with Devin White's a machine, and that run defense for the Bucs is just gross. The dude, Allen Robinson or Marvin Jones, Corey Davis is also a consideration in a PPR championship. I would go Allen Robinson. He is our wide receiver 4 on the week. If you guys didn't see on our YouTube channel, we had rolled out a lot of positional videos this week. Allen Robinson on our wide receiver rankings was number 4. I love the volume. Mitch Trubisky loves Allen Robinson, and garbage time is always a really nice spot for those two. So maybe we'll see a little bit more of that today, but I really like Allen Robinson. Second consideration would be Corey Davis. Do you echo those sentiments, Scotty?
Yeah, I've got really nothing to break the bank as far as the risk reward on those guys. I think you covered that one pretty well.
EJ Clee, he's got Kenyon Drake, Chris Carson, Fournette, Bell, Pollard, and he needs to start 3.
Ooh, I feel like, I mean, Carson, when healthy, is a pretty solid
Carson
play
looks
that I
good
would
to
feel
go this
good
week.
plugging in. So definitely we're going to go Carson. Kenyon Drake, I love to hate on, but at the same time, he is a very, very solid option this week as well. I think I'm going to go Carson, Drake. I'll leave the three to you. I'll leave C to you. What do
I'm
you
with
think,
you on
Mac?
those two, and Leonard Fournette over Le'Veon Bell.
For all the reasons we
Yeah.
just talked about a minute ago, Fournette's in a pretty good place. And as someone who drafted Kashawn Vaughn in a dynasty league, let me tell you, that guy offers very little threat.
As of now, Scotty, he's a firm hold.
He's a firm hold for like 2023.
Yeah.
I'm looking good.
Mark, I've got Kittle, Thomas, and Tanyan. Which Thomas would that be? Logan Thomas? Maybe? Oh, yeah. Kittle, Logan Thomas, Robert Tonyan. Got to start one of them. Played against Kamara, so I feel like I need to go with the highest ceiling. That's definitely the play for you, Mark. The ceiling play here is probably Kittle, but I don't. You're inheriting a lot more risk. But given that you got to go up against Kamara, I think you go with Kittle. The second consideration is probably Logan Thomas, just given his target volume. If he can get into the end zone along with a double-digit targets, I think that's the play for you if you don't like the Kittle move. But, yeah, it's tough because you got to make that Kittle call today, whereas Logan Thomas, you've got some time. We'll have to see how the news trends on that. If this was my team personally, I'd be playing Logan Thomas, but Kittle probably has the highest upside.
I always get PTSD when you're talking about tight ends coming back off injury from one year that I years ago rolled out Jordan Reed, and they literally dressed him up, ran him around in pregame, and then he stood on the sidelines for the entire game, and I will never forget that feeling. It was bad. Yeah, lost I think by 6
Kicks
points.
for Mike. Good morning, boys. Keenan Allen or Brandon Ayuk as my wide receiver 2, and then as flex we've got Kittle, J-Rob, Swift, and Bell. I would go against Keenan Allen. I think we're kind of fading Keenan Allen this week. Brandon Ayuk is definitely the play for wide receiver 2, and then in the flex, I don't know if Robinson plays. Three straight days, no practice. We kind of thought he'd be rested, but right now it's like he wants to play, but Doug Marrone's like, I don't know if he's going to play.
I think I lean
Swift?
kind of Swift over Bell by a little. If it's a PPR league, kicks for Mike. Like I've been saying, Swift's been getting at least 5 or 6 receptions every single game. Gives them a super safe floor. The Tampa Bay defense isn't great against the pass-catching running back. So I agree with what Mack's saying. And you don't want to really play two pass catchers with Beathard at quarterback. That's going to be a painful game to have to watch. I like Swift and Ayuk there, my dude.
35 people in the stream right now. We need to get these likes up. We're only at 19. Let's see if we can get these up to 30. See if you guys can click that like button, spread some Christmas cheer. And look, yesterday we did a live stream. Landon did a live stream. We had Alvin Kamara in the thumbnail. I think with all the Deandre Swift questions, maybe there's a little bit of thumbnail luck that goes along with these streams, because Alvin Kamara, 55 last night, and he was the piece on our thumbnail. We got to Deandre Swift today. Maybe there's a little bit of a bonus there.
He could go off for 32. Let's go for his number.
Let's go for 32.
Why not?
I enjoy that heavily. EJ Clee also has a very gross quarterback question. Maybe a QB2 in a Superflex league. CJ Beathard or Brandon Allen?
He had Minshew.
I'd probably go Beathard.
I think I'd go Beathard as well.
It's
kind of gross.
Very, very gross. I'm going Beathard. Better weapons.
Yep, and with Kittle back, like we've said, it could just be better.
Bears defense or Browns defense? I'm going Browns, Mark. They are my number 1 defense on the week. I love that matchup against the Jet, and like Landon has said, I don't think the Browns take the Jets lightly. They're going to do what Seattle did, just beat them down.
You want to go and pressure on the quarterback. The Browns have one of the best front 4 in the league. That's kind of why I go that direction.
Now, Between James Robinson and Le'Veon Bell in a full PPR going up against Alvin Kamara, where do you go there?
Oh, the dude. Like, James Robinson's been so good. It's hard not to go. You picked up left probably off waivers, my dude. I think I'd go Bell, though. The pass-to-run ratio for the Kansas City Chiefs is not great.
No.
They pass the ball so much. But
Lev
is the only one.
65-35 split.
Yeah, Bell's the only one back there. He was getting kind of first drive carries in the past couple games. It's possible, I think, for touchdown upside alone in a plus matchup, it's possible that Bell runs he pulls a Fernette and runs in two-yard carries in for touchdowns. I still think he presents touchdown upside and he can catch the football. I would go Lev because it's a banged-up James Robinson. I think he's going to sit on the sideline.
How many touches do you think Le'Veon Bell gets?
So touches, I think he gets 22 touches.
Wow.
16 carries.
6 receptions.
And 6 receptions.
Yeah, I had a little bit lower. I had about 15 rushing attempts and a hand. Yeah, maybe it's about 20. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't see him being, heavily used, though, just because of what Landon said. The splits between how they move the football through the air is where they go. James Robinson is definitely the upside play. At least you have another day to figure that out and see how the news trends. I think if James Robinson is in, he has the higher ceiling just because he's the do-all piece for the Jags. Staff or Trubisky, standard league. So we'll start there. For Garrett, Stafford or Trubisky, I'm going Stafford.
Yeah, I'm going to go Trubisky, actually. Yeah. We talked about we do. If anyone watching here that doesn't listen, we do a podcast every week as well. Mack and I went in depth about the quarterback play, like our top 12 quarterbacks. We outlined why we have these guys ranked, like why Hurts is up there, what his ceiling is, the floor for Rodgers, etc. I really like Trubisky in a matchup against the Jags. I think he's going to he could definitely pass for 3 and run for 1. I think that's in the realm of possibilities.
Yeah. Last 4 weeks since Mitchell Trubisky's been the starter, he's been the quarterback 11. Getting it done for you.
So I think Stafford against Tampa, Tampa Bay's defense has been hot and cold. Sometimes they're just so good, no one can run against them, no one can pass against them. And then sometimes they just, you wonder, these are the Bucs of old. These are the Bucs that just are a sieve and that can't get things together. But yeah, I think I'd go with Trubisky there.
And then between Hodgkinson or Mark Andrews, I would go Mark Andrews.
I think I'd go Mark Andrews higher, but it's close. Especially after Hawk.
Mark Andrews. Yeah. Taking that 3 thumbs up on that one.
Hawk just put a negative fantasy point for your team, so I'm fine pivoting.
No recency bias.
Yeah.
When TJ Hawkins has a 100-yard game this afternoon, you're gonna go, okay, all right.
Hey, I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
Drew, we love you. Thanks for the congrats. We're proud of you too, being going through vet school right now. That is a tough go, but you are.
Yeah, the cat heart emoji
very
is
fitting. Very
pretty
fitting. Johnny Sousa, Chris Carson, Antonio Brown, or Jeff Wilson in a full PPR flex position. It's Chris Carson for me.
Yeah, I lean Carson as well.
West
as well.
Drift. Should I play Pollard, Kittle, or Waller in my Waller? Don't even get cute, West. What are you doing, man?
He probably has Kelsey in his tight end spot and Waller now in his flex. If I were to guess, West.
That is how you get it done in a tight end premium league. Ooh. Yeah, I would go Waller there all day. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, Kittle is tempting coming back. Tony Pollard, fine. The matchup against the Eagles isn't great. And Kittle, there's a ton of risk. Darren Waller is locked and loaded. I mean, you've seen the weeks that he can give you. And going up against the Dolphins, I know the matchup seems tough, but he's not going to have Xavier Howard on him. And if he does, complete mismatch. Body mismatch.
I want to give a shout out to all the 36 people watching around right now. Make sure to give a thumbs up. We're going to get to every single question. We have lots more to go. Robbie's in the chat. Derek's in the chat. Paulie, Paulie's in the chat asking questions. Ryan Hoffman, what up? Christian, Harvey, Juice, you guys are all in the chat. Thank you for coming by. Make sure to give us a thumbs up. Shout out to you for supporting the Snap Boys. We will get to your question. We're going to answer every single one. It's just there's so many today, and this is so important for your championship week. That's why you're here. And I just want to give a shout out to everyone here in the chat in the stream.
Let's just get caught up. I'm gonna go. You go, Landon. Scotty, you can go if you want. Ahmed, Pollard, or Wilson for the last flex spot. He's up against Kamara this week. I would go with Jeff Wilson Jr. I think he gets the full workload, and I'm not so convinced that Pollard and Ahmed have the same opportunity.
Yeah, Chris Turner, I would go Jeff Wilson as well.
Ajitesh, please answer Hurts or Josh Allen and Evans or Fournette in a PPR.
Hurts and Evans.
I agree. G. Penn, how do you feel about Malcolm Brown with Cam Akers out? I'm in running back hell with Robinson questionable, lost Akers, have Kenyon Drake, and picked up Tony Pollard and Benny Snell. Goddamn.
I would go probably Kenyon Drake, but close your eyes and pray.
I would go Kenyon Drake over Malcolm Brown. I think Darrell Henderson gets the lead role, as we've already talked about. Scotty, PPR, pick one. Melvin Gordon, Marvin Jones, Antonio Brown.
I think I go Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, MG.
Second consideration there is Antonio Brown for me. Corey Lloyd, Pollard or Zeke in a standard league, please and thank you. P.S. Thank you for the Corey Davis over Juju play last week. I think that was Lando that got you, so you're welcome.
I probably liked Juju. How do you remember that?
Oh, no, maybe that was me.
Shut up.
We'll take it. This podcast will take the credit. And credit to you for making that play. That's a big one. If Juju can just stop dancing on logos, he'll probably be a little bit better. Pollard or Zeke, man, that's just so gross. Are you popping champagne? Oh, it is the top of the hour. We will do a quick little celebration. Geez, man, I think you gotta see how that one plays out. I would still go Zeke, but we'll see if Zeke is gonna play this week. He was a healthy scratch, so 90 minutes before game time last week. Keep your eye. At least you have both of them. You can make that decision. I think if Zeke is out, Pollard is a great play. If they're both playing, I lean Zeke, but it's kind of gross.
Yeah, I go Zeke as well. I don't want to, but I would have to.
Top of the hour, boys. So for all of you in here, a big congrats to you for helping us get here, and for producer Scott rolling out video after video. Landon putting out recording content every single day, week over week, and I'll take a little bit of credit for all of these visuals that you see in front of you, boys. Cheers to this wonderful community that we have as well, and let's try to get another 1,000. Hey, let's grow this. Let's get some more people in here. Cheers.
200 videos down, 200 more to go just for next year.
Woo! Love it.
Comment in the chat if you're having a cocktail at noon.
Hit you hard, eh, Landon?
On Boxing Day.
Lockdown, baby.
Lockdown.
Hit you hard.
We got the bubbly.
We also want to take a quick moment to thank our sponsor. Our growth has been fantastic, but you don't have to deal with that same growth downstairs. Manscaped has got you covered. It is still the holiday season. Maybe you missed out a gift. You weren't sure what to get. Your dad, your brother, your boyfriend. Go get the Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0. Comes with the lawnmower, which has skin-safe technology. It is a fantastic razor that you can use in the shower. It's got an LED light. The charge time is incredible. 10-hour battery, which in shave life is ages. I haven't charged my razor once since getting it about 2 months ago. So really, really love the product. They've got a ton of stuff coming out in the new year. They're expanding sort of their umbrella of products. And if you guys go over to manscaped.com and use the promo code SNAP20, you can get 20% off plus free shipping. Once again, that is SNAP20, 20% off plus free shipping. Your balls will thank you.
Isaac is asking David Johnson, Bell, or Gaskin. I would go David Johnson, Isaac. Special consideration Ken as well. Doug, Allen, or Godwin?
Godwin.
Keenan Allen. Yeah, Godwin.
Yeah,
Godwin.
Keenan.
Yeah.
Griff says he's living in Texas. They have almost 0 restrictions. Not surprised. Appreciate all the answers. Y'all have a great day. I'm off to Lynx to put my clubs through their first round. Oh, Griff, I'm so jealous.
This guy's living the life.
Insanely jealous.
He's a vet
new
tech,
clubs going golfing.
Griff's probably already on the Lynx, but if he comes back to the stream, Griff, we would love to chat golf. Man, we are all big golfers, all 3 of us. Scotty's getting into the game a little bit more. Landon and I are pretty avid players. We would love to chat some golf with you.
Love that off-season talk.
Nick, Marvin Jones or Deontay Johnson? I would go Deontay Johnson.
I would go Deontay as well.
What if Keenan doesn't play? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Agitesh, we're on the same page, my man. The dude, Allen Robinson. Oh, chat just jumped. Let me see if I can. You got
Marvin Jones Jr. for the ship. I'm going to go Allen Robinson, the dude. Trust A-Rob this week. I think he's going to be an absolute stud.
Absolutely. Doug Lorig, Gaskin, or Jeff Wilson Jr.? I would go Jeff Wilson Jr. Very, very high on him this week.
I think I've said Gaskin in a similar stuff, but I think I'm leaning towards Jeff Wilson as the chat goes on.
Beautiful. I'm turning you. Running back 2, Standard League, Gaskin or Wilson in the fun. Look at this. This is back-to-back. I would go Wilson.
Same thing.
I would go Wilson.
Let's go Wilson. Gavin Boyd.
Matt Zevgalis, thanks guys. Super deep league, keeper league. Can't believe it took me all season to find you guys so good. Appreciate you, Matt. Welcome in, man. We're building this community. You can be a part of it, and we look forward to chatting with you more. One more from Twitter: Bud Knight, Kittle, or Gesicki. I don't think Gesicki's playing. Is that correct?
He was questionable going in, so if he's active, if they're both active, I think I still go Kittle.
I would still go Kittle as well. Yep.
Yeah.
Easy is in the chat. What's going on, Easy?
The 3 amigos. Yeah. He knows us. He knows what's up.
Nick, the dude.
Rivera. Should I start Marvin Jones or Deontay Johnson? Deontay Johnson.
Yes. Godwin or AB.
First time.
Ooh, where do you split it there? I kind of lean Antonio Brown here, Landon. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I lean AB as well. I think it goes Evans, AB, Godwin as the Bucks pass catchers.
It hurts so much. Like Chris Godwin was my guy last year. I put my flag on. I planted that early, and I rode that wave high the whole fantasy season as the wide receiver 3. And then you got to stay there, right? And this year it's like he's the wide receiver 40 on the year. It hurts. It hurts. But it is what it is.
I know.
It's.
I think he'll be a great buy next year, but we said that Jameis Winston is great for an offense. Throwing pick sixes, throwing it a ton, they're always behind. He's great for any offense. He's a gunslinger. So we thought on paper, Godwin should be the guy. Slot receiver. He's like the best all-around slot guy that Tom Brady's almost ever had since Randy Moss, and that was when he had a cannon for an arm. But he was the Julian Edelman. It was supposed to be a great scenario, and it's just you can't really trust anyone in that offense. Maybe now you can trust Evans a little bit. I don't know.
KSTS 00. I love the way you've laid out this question too. Got all of the matchups. Your positional needs. He's got DeAndre Swift, Brandon Cooks, DK Metcalf, Miles Sanders, Chris Carson, Mike Evans. We need to pick 4, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, and 2 flex here. Currently, he has Swift, Metcalf, Sanders, and Evans. And I don't think I make any changes to that.
Yeah, I think you stick with that KSTS.
I understand, maybe you wanting to roll out Brandon Cooks over DK Metcalf because of that matchup. And I just think DK Metcalf can be so special.
I hope so. The dude, first time finding about you guys. I wish I knew earlier. Congrats on 1K. Allen Robinson or Marvin Jones Jr.
You got that one, but
full PPR. Yeah. So,
A-Rob.
yeah.
Absolutely. Gary McCord. Cool. Gaskin, JT, Swift. Pick 2. I think I just go JT and Swift.
JT and Swift, Gary. JT and Swift.
Logan Thomas or Mark Andrews in a PPR going up against Lamar as well. Does that factor in your decision that you could play the tight end that the opposing team's quarterback has?
It doesn't really factor in at all. I want to play the best player. We do projections and rankings for a reason. I'm not in a tiebreak scenario. I might consider it, but it's like it really doesn't matter. Like if I was playing against Rivers and I had JT, I'm just gonna play JT. Like it doesn't matter.
It's similar to a stack. It feels good when it hits, but mathematically it makes no difference.
We did a very good podcast on stacking this offseason. We should almost re-release that or do another one. It was very good.
Maybe. Jonathan Taylor and Deandre Swift is where. Oh, sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. Mark Andrews is where I would go. Juice Dungeon, Josh Jacobs over Gio Bernard. Has Josh Jacobs really fallen that far in the perception of fantasy owners?
It's not an easy matchup for him.
Doesn't matter.
I agree. I would play Josh Jacobs.
I would too.
I'd roll out Jacobs as well.
I mean, look, I know last week wasn't great, but he still had 29 touches. It's ridiculous. I mean, volume in fantasy football is king. You need to take the volume. You can't think that Gio's going to be efficient just because his matchup is better. I'd rather take Josh Jacobs, who's the better player, who can break a hole. That's all you need. And the more cracks you have at that, the better your opportunity. So you got to roll out Josh Jacobs. It's crazy to go the other way. And now Gio Bernard is going to score 25.
I know.
Christian Harvey, do I start Fournette or Jacobs in the running back 2, or do I go with 2 in the flex and bench Kittle? Waller is my tight end 1, full PPR league. I would sit down Kittle and go Fournette and Jacobs. Start 1, flex 1.
Yeah. You said you're starting Jacobs?
He's saying, does he play Jacobs and Kittle in the flex, or does he play Fournette and Jacobs and sit Kittle down? He's got Waller as his tight end.
Yeah. Fournette and
Jacobs. And, I was going to say, make sure that you have whoever plays first today in your positional spot and whoever plays later in your flex, but they both play today. But ideally, you would want to have Jacobs in that flex spot because he has the late game today.
Yeah.
Should anything happen, then you can just swap him out and you don't have Fournette taking up that flex spot.
2020 is a weird year. Always give yourself the most flexibility you can in case there's a last-minute COVID thing.
Or maybe Josh Jacobs is going to troll again and do the Instagram thing.
Yeah, you never
Ryan
know.
Hoffman.
That gave me a heart attack.
Yeah, Scotty, that was a tough week for you, man.
That was a tough week for you, indeed.
Half PPR, Antonio Gibson or Myles Gaskin, says Ryan Hoffman. That's gross.
I'll go Gaskin.
If Antonio Gibson plays, I'm going to go there.
All right.
But that's gross.
Yeah. Derek's in the chat. What's up, Derek? He's always around. Cheers to you.
Derek Reyes, also easy. Eric Zubert, always in the chat since day one. Full PPR, Gaskin, Bernard, McKissick, or Gibson if healthy. I think Landon's going to say you go Myles Gaskin. I think if Gibson plays, I would go there. If not, so let's just say that Gibson is out. Do you go McKissick over Gaskin, given how involved he's been in the passing game?
No, I think I'd still stick with Gaskin.
Pauly J2, Hurts or Kyler? Guys, listen.
I would go
Kyler Murray's about to go nuclear today. Here it comes. That shoulder's been looking better. His average depth to target has gotten a little bit deeper. He's using those legs a little bit more. Kyler Murray, just watching him, he passed the eye test. He did not look motivated. He did not look like he had fun playing football the last couple of weeks. But last week was totally different. It was a different Kyler Murray. We saw those little smiles. We saw that rapport, that chemistry with DeAndre Hopkins down the field come back to life. Kyler Murray's becoming more of himself again. And I think, along with Alvin Kamara, Kyler Murray is going to win some people some championships, man.
After that impassioned speech about Kyler Murray, I think we should just notice we have 40 people in the live chat. We got 34 likes. I think we can do better than 34. So just a reminder to thank the boys by smashing the like button and the subscribe button. We're here every week for you guys to help you win your championships and give speeches like that one.
Now you guys understand what we get in our ear every single time we live stream. It's Scotty in the back. Boys, make sure that you prompt that like and sub button. But Derek loves it, man. He loves seeing Scotty in the stream. He loves to see it. It's the man behind the glass. It's the guy that keeps this show going, and here he is, as handsome as ever.
Every show needs an evil genius behind the scenes.
You, sir, are certainly that.
Cracking the whip. I've got a question off of WhatsApp from Commissioner Jeff. Safer play, Gage, Hilton, or Higgins? He's looking for safety here. I think Hilton may be out of the question for you.
I would go Higgins out of that group.
I think you're right.
I would go Higgins there if you're looking for safety.
Yeah, Gage has been good. I think it's between Gage and Higgins, but the game script lends, I think, a good game for Higgins. He has the upside as well.
He definitely does.
Yeah.
Just from a physical stature standpoint, he's so much bigger and more athletic than the corners that he faces. Like, he has that ability to create mismatches all over the field, and if they can just get the ball to him regularly, he's going to be fantastic.
Yep.
Abdul, need 2 wide receivers and a flex. We've got DJ Moore, Kiki QT, T.Y. Hilton, Corey Davis, Le'Veon Bell, and James Conner. Thanks for the help. First of all, sit James Conner down. Go away from that.
Yep.
He's been awful with opportunity, and Mike Tomlin has lost confidence in him, and they play the Indianapolis Colts. So 3 strikes, you're out. I don't like that position at all. So let's just try to get some guys out. 2 wide receivers, I'd be going DJ Moore and Corey Davis. And then it's between T.Y. and Kiki.
Or Lev?
I guess.
I think it's between Lev and Kiki for me.
Okay. I'm fine with the Lev play.
It's
more of a floor play.
Yeah, I think for the floor play, I would go Lev. For the upside, I would go QT.
Done. Robbie Muniz, should I throw in DJ Moore or Marvin Jones in the flex spot in a full PPR? I would go DJ Moore.
Yeah, it's close. I would go DJ Moore as well. Marvin Jones has been so good. Almost got Scott to a championship. Should have got him to a championship, but didn't. Ouch. But Marvin Jones has been good. I think I go DJ Moore, though. He's a great wide receiver. You are just throwing
salt in that wound. Like, you are relentless.
My blood pressure from all the salt is going to be insurmountable by the end of this season.
Just lay off the sodium, Scotty.
Wow, man. Wow. Derek's hoping that James Robinson and Tyreek don't play. Playing against both of them for the championship.
I don't think James Robinson's playing.
Yeah. That one's going to be interesting. I don't see why they roll him out. I think James Robinson could be their diamond in the rough, their Arian Foster, the undrafted free agent running back that just is a part of this little dynasty that they're building if they can land Trevor Lawrence, who they've got control of right now. So, why roll him out this week when you don't have to? When you don't really want to win? For sure. Tyreek, that'll be an interesting one.
Hey, man, Roger is in the chat from yesterday saying he was doubting Kamara. And I told him because he had the best running back lineup I've ever seen. We talked about that, but Roger's back in the chat.
What's Roger saying?
He says, hey, Landon, thanks for the help yesterday. I was doubting the most between Kamara and Cook. Thanks for your advice. I'm rolling with Kamara, Montgomery, and Henry. Thanks a lot.
For you to say you need to sit down Dalvin Cook is really, really tough. It's ridiculous. But Dalvin Cook walks out with about 15 points, and Alvin Kamara walks out about 55. And now you look like an absolute genius.
Hey, man. I love to doubt my Vikings more than anything.
Yeah, for sure. No, that
you love when that
awesome,
happens.
Man. Right, Scotty?
You love watching that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Roger. You are well on your way, my friend, with Alvin Kamara and Derrick Henry this week. Just give your league mates your address and get them to ship that trophy out now. Why waste time?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashley
totally.
Nelson. What's going on, Ashley? Haven't seen your name before. Jeff Wilson Jr. or Gio Bernard. I am high on Jeff Wilson Jr. this week. I think he gets a full workload with no Raheem Mostert and Tevin Coleman being a little bit of a ghost. So I'm going to go Jeff Wilson.
I like that a lot. Welcome to the chat, Trey. We got Bentley in here. We have Robbie still here. Thanks for sticking around. Sovachez says he's going against Kamara and he has Cook. You hate to see it. You need a miracle. But that's why you're still here grinding with us. Thanks for coming by, guys.
Lucius, need one wide receiver, Godwin, Metcalf, Davis, and need one tight end, Mark Andrews or Logan Thomas. The only reason he asks about the tight end is because McLaurin is doubtful. Thanks in advance.
Right. Yeah, true. They could give a jump to Thomas. Didn't really consider that.
Oh, for sure. I would be going personally Chris Godwin out of the group. I think the game plan for the Titans could be run against a bottom 3 run defense in the Green Bay Packers. Metcalf has the hardest corner matchup, so I think Godwin is the safest play. I think Metcalf has the highest upside, and I think based on what you need out of your matchup, I would go there. I'm not really looking to start Corey Davis this week.
Yeah, that's. We like Corey Davis. We've liked him as a podcast. Mack had a good feeling about him a couple of weeks ago, and it's really come true. Yeah, Lucius, it's a tough one. I think you still ride your stud, Mark Andrews, even though it's a low volume offense. You don't really want to trust Dwayne Haskins if you could help it. Yeah, I think you have a very legit question with that one wide receiver spot. I still like Metcalf, but I totally get the reason why people are sitting him down.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, ceiling plays with Metcalf and just a safe, if you need 5 receptions for 70 yards, that's Chris Godwin to a T right now. It is what it is.
Yep.
Twan. Oh, my chat just jumped. Got to go back. Corey Davis.
Corey Davis or Antonio Brown, Hunt, or Henderson have PPR. I'm going to roll out Hunt this week for sure.
Oh, and
between those wide receivers, go AB.
AB and Kareem Hunt. I love that. Love that. JML Sports, Cardinals defense or Bucks defense? I
would go Bucks. I would still go Bucks.
Okay.
JML Sports.
I kind of like the Cardinals defense, man. Like, do we really trust CJ Beathard?
No, we don't. And the Bucks have almost the best linebacker core in the league, but the Cardinals are no slouch as well. Getting after the quarterback, pressuring the quarterback is going to be
Cardinals.
there. Yeah, Cardinals are a good spot. JML, you have to rely on game script. It's amazing that our defense video that I did was our most popular, because defense is the one that people are struggling with the most. And game script has so much to do with the start defense. You want the quarterback to pass the ball against your defense because that leads to turnovers and sacks. If the Bucks, all they do, or the Detroit Lions, if they get up and all they do is run, that's it, then the Bucks aren't going to do nothing. But if Matt Stafford has to throw the ball, it doesn't matter how many points they score against, but if he has to throw the ball a lot, that just leads to more opportunities for the Bucks. Cardinals go to a massive lead. You want Beathard to throw the ball. That's what you want. So, yeah, I like the Cardinals play, but it's game script. You have to kind of narrative your way what the game's going to do in both games.
Totally. Rob Gronkowski or George Kittle this week?
Scotty.
Oh, boy.
Gronk or Kittle?
I'm going Gronk. No question for me. If you're rolling out Gronkowski in championship week, I think you'd feel a little foolish if Kittle ends up being not 100% and Gronk catches 1 or 2 touchdowns with the Gronk spike from Brady, and you're watching a near decoy hang out on the sidelines. So you're not going to feel great. So I'd roll out a healthy Gronk over we'll see Kittle.
I could have bet my life savings on that answer.
What makes this even tougher, though, is that you've got to make this decision now. Just because game time is 1:00 and you don't have the time to gather more info on George Kittle. So I would roll out Gronkowski. He's been the tight end 10 on the year, has not disappointed from a touchdown upside standpoint, and it's certainly not a sexy play. I would rather go Kittle, but I think Gronk is the play here in a better matchup.
Christian, he had a cocktail at 9 a.m. Whoops. Hey, cheers to you, Christian. It's the holidays. We're in lockdown. Let's
Look,
drink
man,
some cocktails.
In Canada, where we spend our summers on the golf course, the liquor laws say that you can crack one at 9 a.m. Beverage card is out there. So, look, we feel you. We're with that. Start one for King Jonathan. James Robinson, Deontay Johnson, Jarvis, or Ayuk. Also considering Godwin.
Jarvis is where I would go.
It's between Deontay Johnson and Jarvis Landry for me. Do you want to consult the rankings real quick, Landon, and see what we've got there? I mean, Jarvis Landry has been the safety valve for Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. And
amazing how he's flourished without Odell Beckham Jr. This whole offense.
Don't get me wrong. Like, Deontay Johnson is the number one wide receiver in that offense. I just don't trust Big Ben anymore.
Interesting.
See, when we did
their defense.
Our rank, so there's lots not to trust with Pittsburgh. If there's still a chance Deontay gets benched, I doubt it maybe, but
not
like
after last week.
I still I have Jarvis as my number 11 wide receiver on the week. When we did our rankings video, that hasn't changed a lot throughout the week. I do like Deontay. I'm willing to start him. I just don't. He always has touch. Like more receptions. I think it's going to be Landry, but Deontay has a good chance of at the end.
Let's go with Landry. Better matchup, equal target share. I think. Let's go with the better matchup. Jarvis Landry. Chris, we appreciate you. Cheers as well. RJ Clark, great job, first-time listener, subscribed. Appreciate you, RJ. Look forward to you being with us for the offseason into next year. Barbara, I've got Kamara, Jones in my starting lineup. Do I put Swift or Sanders in my flex? Plus, I have Thielen in my lineup. Do I keep Ayuk in my lineup or put Marvin Jones or Deontay Johnson? Okay, so given that you have Kamara, it does make a difference. I think you just have to go with the safe plays. I think you go Miles Sanders for the flex.
Yep.
I think you put in Deontay Johnson over Brandon Ayuk. You just go with your studs who, are going to have a workload no matter what. It might not be a massive ceiling play, but you don't need that because Alvin Kamara just delivered 55. 55.
Yeah, I agree, Barbara. That's a really good question. The context makes perfect sense. I completely agree with Mack. It's where I leaned as well when you said the question.
And I'm a Kamara owner too in a championship matchup. And I went last night with Landon. I said, Landon put a question in my ear. He's like, do you have to reevaluate some starts? And I'm kind of like, well, no. But I was considering Jalen Hurts over Kyler Murray. And he goes, I think it's Kyler now, right? Take out that risk with any thought of Jalen Hurts. So now you just got to put in your studs and kind of just coast your way to that victory because – a top 5 fantasy performance of all time last night was just delivered to you in a championship week. So you just got to gift that and put your studs in.
Roger, I just saw you followed us on Instagram. Make sure everyone follows us on Instagram. You can get in our DMs if you have specific questions about your start sits for next year, all off season. We'll be doing rookie videos all off season. We love our rookies here. We were on Jonathan Taylor and CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson all off season long. Like Mack had the biggest crush on Jefferson before the draft, and then Scotty and twinkle our eyes that he landed with the Vikings, our team. But we've been on them since the beginning, and that's what we spend our summers doing, or the off season doing, and evaluating these rookies. So make sure to follow us.
How you haven't replaced that Diggs jersey with the Jefferson jersey is beyond me.
Well, my Diggs jersey is signed, so I could get a signed Jefferson jersey. It could be on its way. You never know.
Fair enough, Landon. Fair enough. Derek, Browns or Bucks D? I'm going Browns. I think they are the number 1 defense on the week.
Hey, Mac, if I get a Jefferson jersey, do you want my Diggs one? Will you put my Diggs jersey up behind you if he wins you a championship?
No, because I'm putting an Alvin Kamara jersey up right behind me because that's who's winning me the championship. Stephon Diggs just might help put the nail in the coffin.
Well, he helped you with our matchup, putting the nail in my coffin.
That's right.
So.
I had to go through you to get to this finals. Woo! I would go Browns.
I had to win on my bench.
Salt. Fant or Kittle, is this the line that you draw in the sand where you say the risk on George Kittle is worth it?
Yeah, it is.
I think it is too.
Fant has been great, but he's so hot and cold.
Yep.
I'd also roll out Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, trusting Drew Lock is something we don't like to do here.
Barber also says
for good reason.
Cardinals or Rams defense. I'm personally going to go the Cardinals. I think the matchup is a lot better against a third-string quarterback than going up against Russell Wilson and hoping that the defense can be elite.
Yeah. Don't hate it. I don't hate it. I would technically start the Rams. They've been the best defense all year round. Russell Wilson over the past 6 weeks has turned the ball over a ton. I do love Russell, and I love DK Metcalf, but I would just stick with my stud defense personally and wouldn't just pick up a Cardinals waiver wire. Personally. I get it. Then we laid out the narrative for the Cardinals, but the rush or the pass rush for the Rams is pretty good.
Russell Wilson's also pretty good.
He is. I agree.
Niall Christian, Marvin Jones or Brandon Ayuk in the flex. I would go Marvin Jones.
Yeah, I think I lean Marvin Jones as well.
Trey S., good morning to you as well. Full PPR league. Choose 3. Melvin Gordon, Marvin Jones, DJ Moore, Chris Godwin, Josh Jacobs, and DeAndre Swift. Thanks. Okay,
get into this one. Full PPR.
Jacobs and Swift are 2 locks for me.
And then, And then it's between
it gets tough.
DJ Moore and Melvin Gordon for me.
I mean, typically I am one that likes to roll RB heavy. So if I can start 3-4 running backs, depending on how many running back slots and flex spots I have in a league, I'm going to do that. So I personally lean Gordon, Jacobs, and Swift. If you want to go like with a really big upside play, I think you go DJ Moore. But I would go Gordon, Jacobs, Swift.
Your wide receivers are all in a very similar tier. Obviously, the name value with Chris Godwin and DJ Moore, everyone hyped up DJ Moore. Marvin Jones has been the most productive of the 3 lately. But I think you're right, Mack. I think it's nice to have the 3 running backs starting.
Agreed.
40 likes, everyone. If you're new to the channel, make sure to like this video. We are trying to get to 100 likes on one of these streams. I know we can do it. I know people are watching. Scott is still hammering Twitter to get everyone in the chat. So
I believe 92 is our previous record from a week ago. I think we can top 92.
We can top that.
Landon, do you have our spot in the chat held? Okay, mine just jumped to the bottom, so I'm just going to shout out a couple people and answer some questions. Quick time here. Michael Costanza, happy holidays to you as well. Full PPR, Godwin or Marvin Jones. I would go Marvin Jones for the upside there. If you want like a safer play, go Godwin. Barber, you are welcome.
All right.
Paul Krasinski, bench Steelers and grab Panthers or Arizona. I would go Arizona over the Steelers defense. Mercado, no question. Just wanted to wish my brothers here and the fantasy football community a wonderful holiday, Merry Christmas, and best New Year. Good luck to everyone. Amazing message, Mercado. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Tom Meller, Swift, or A.J. Brown in the flex in a PPR. I would go A.J. Brown. JML Sports, should I bench DK for Gaskin in the flex? I would roll DK Metcalf. Kicks my game. I forgot to ask, is starting Hurts over a top 3 quarterback in Josh Allen in championship week a risk worth taking? I'm leaning Allen, by the way. I would lean Josh Allen as well. And Derek, can't believe the guy who had Kyler, Kamara, David Montgomery, and DeAndre Hopkins didn't make the finals. He did have Juso also, so that's probably why. I feel that. Austin, let's get those likes up. Let's go. Appreciate you. And I'm going to jump back up. So there's a little double time at the end.
Ben Lang is asking, standard league, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. Starting running backs are Henry, Robinson, Drake, and Gibson. Wide receivers are Adams, DK, AJ Brown. Starting Henry and Robinson, Adams, and DK, Brown, flex. So I'm not playing James Robinson. Now, I'm not going to play James Robinson. I will play between Drake and Gibson. I would probably roll Drake straight up, but I think Gibson is an upside play. You can afford a Gibson play because you have Derrick Henry and Devontae Adams. As for your wide receivers, 2 wide receivers, Devontae Adams, A.J. Brown are locked and loaded. between a flex play between DK Metcalf and other wide running back Gibson or DK Metcalf, I would go with DK Metcalf.
Perfect.
So Bentley a little bit. That's a really good question, full lineup question, but we are here for you.
Tom Mellor, Thomas, or Kittle, Fournette or Swift, big decisions. Man, so I'm now leaning more Logan Thomas than taking a shot on Kittle. That's always been the play for me with the volume, but I'm gonna go Logan Thomas. And between Fournette and Swift, I think it's what you believe out of this game script. I think Fournette has the opportunity to get into the end zone once or twice. So I'm going to go Thomas and Fournette.
Yep, Thomas and Fournette. YT Snips, what's up from Twitter? Hopefully you're still around,
He's
YT.
got Marvin Jones or Amari Cooper.
I would stick with Amari Cooper. I know Amari really let people down last week, but if you're in the finals despite that, I think you still go back to Amari. He's still the best talent at the wide receiver spot. If you're Marvin Jones, he's got a floor of like 10 or 11, it feels like. He's just going to be so solid. Where Amari Cooper has a ceiling of 25. But obviously his floor with Dalton is low at like 2 or 3. So if you need a floor play, maybe Marvin Jones is the floor play, but I think Amari Cooper is still the number one wide receiver in a good offense, in a decent offense. So, yeah.
Poor Roger, though. You helped him out with his start-sit yesterday with Alvin Kamara over Dalvin Cook, and he's in the semis. He's got a Week 17 championship.
Roger, you hate to see it, but get into our DMs next week. We'll still help you out. We're not going to be as active on doing all of our lives because 90% of us do not have Week 17 matchups. But we have a podcast. We'll still help you. We'll still be around. It's just this is our Super Bowl right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Allison Wallace, Fournette or Evans in the flex? I would go Mike Evans.
Yeah, I would go Mike Evans. Fournette's the floor play, but it's still going to be Evans in any kind of PPR league.
CJ and Kittle are college teammates.
Oh,
did not know that.
That's what. I did not know that as well. Yeah.
It's still CJ Beathard.
Colts, D, or Ravens? I would go Ravens.
For sure. Ben Stiller, Chris Carson, Le'Veon Bell, J.D. McKissick, or Jeff Wilson at the flex? Chris Carson, no doubt.
I would go Chris Carson, Jeff Wilson, Le'Veon Bell in that order.
We got that question from Tom. Allison Wallace, I also have Hunt and A.J. Brown that you could put in using the flex. So between Hunt, Brown, Evans, and Fournette, who in the flex?
So between Mike Evans and A.J.
I would
Brown?
put Hunt and A.J. Brown in over all those guys.
Yeah.
I've
got A.J. Brown a couple slots ahead of Mike Evans.
I would go A.J. Brown in your flex. Kareem Hunt as a second choice. That game script for the Browns is going to be so good against the Jets. Should be run heavy as well. So Hunt is a second consideration, but would go A.J. Brown.
Yep.
Did I get Michaels? Yes, I did. Godwin, yes. Okay, so this is where I double timed. So we're at the Calico. The Calico 509. Drake versus 49ers. Gaskin versus Raiders. Gallman versus Ravens in a full PPR. I think I still roll Kenyon Drake.
I think Drake's been my nemesis this year. When I trust him, he doesn't do anything. When he's on my bench, he goes off for 2 touchdowns. And Gallman is a guy that I'm gonna just bench versus the Ravens. So I think I lean Gaskin, but it's kind of a salty
Joe
play
Tall
for me.
on Twitter. Drake versus Zeke versus Henderson. I voted on that poll for you. I put Henderson down.
What kind of beer? I'm drinking champagne. Austin,
to celebrate that 1,000 subscriber mark.
From California, Schramsburg. I've been to this vineyard.
It is a champagne morning for the boys.
Champagne morning. No. Let me tell you.
Rishi in a full PPR. Man, one of my best friends growing up's name was Rishi Jain.
Are we sure this isn't him?
I mean, hopefully it is. I haven't heard from him in about, what am I, 31? I haven't heard from him in about 20 years. Would be great to reunite, my man. Hopefully that is you.
Welcome back.
Full PPR, championship game. Zeke, Hilton, or Gage. Wow. Probably just roll Zeke, but we would go Gage over Hilton.
Yep.
So if Zeke plays, roll him out. If he doesn't, go Gage. Also has Josh Allen or Ryan Tannehill. Doesn't matter if you have Diggs. The stacking doesn't really make a difference. So I would go Josh Allen there. And there's a third part to this question. Sorry, my chat just jumped.
That's all right.
Where is it, Lando?
I'm not sure who you're actually answering right now.
Sorry, I jumped too far. But Josh Allen over Tannehill. I would go Josh Allen.
K-Mov is asking in a PPR league. I had Kamara yesterday. Congratulations. I have Dobbins and Taylor. Do I pull one for Amari Cooper at the flex? He's got Ridley and Robert Woods. No, I would keep Dobbins or Taylor over Cooper at your flex. We have Dobbins slightly higher. We love Taylor this week. Either of those running backs should secure you a championship title.
Absolutely, yeah. I think there's a little bit of risk with Amari Cooper, given they've got to play the Eagles. The Dallas offense is fine. It's not great, though. But Dobbins and Taylor are in really good spots to succeed this week. So you got to go with them. The floor should be very, very high.
Love that. Love that.
Calico also has... Oh, we got that one. We're good. I think I got Sovicia.
You got him already?
I think that's where we're at. Sovicia.
Okay. One PPR. A-Rob, Woods, Juju, DJ Moore, Demont, Eckler, Bell, Evan Ingram, Austin Hooper. 2 wide receiver, 1 running back, 1 tight end, 1 flex. Down 40 because of Kamara. I have Cook.
He's also got Kyler Murray, Cardinals defense, and Younghoe Koo.
Okay.
We're setting the whole lineup
Stick with
here.
those guys.
Against Kamara.
Okay, I would Al Robinson and Robert Woods in.
Mm-hmm.
Montgomery and Eckler in. As for a tight end, he's Austin Hooper in. And between the 1 flex he's got DJ Moore, Juju, Le'Veon Bell left at the flex position. DJ Moore for your final flex, the high upside. DJ Moore, that's your lineup.
Recoup 55 from Kamara. We got to go for the ceiling here.
You got to go with the ceiling. Le'Veon Bell is not the ceiling play.
Beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful. We got Rishi's question. Austin, how do you guys feel about Kittle? Feel like if you made it to the finals without him, don't risk starting him. Imagine he re-aggravates the cuboid and drops a 0.
That's what the risk is, my dude.
I'm with you on that. Like I said, if you've gotten this far, you probably have already made arrangements. So, absolutely, yeah. Richie Sandoval, do I risk playing James Robinson if he plays? I'm starting Henderson, McKissick, and Pollard as of now. I would play James Robinson over Tony Pollard. Absolutely.
Yep, I like that. Definitely, no question.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If Zeke plays, Tony Pollard has almost little to no value. You know.
No, you're hoping for a break off of a touchdown like he got in the quarterfinals. Scott, remember that when you had Zeke starting and Tony Pollard scored the touchdown?
Oh, I remember. Thank you, Landon. Thank you for that.
Salt. Tommy Jeff Wilson or Myles Gaskin? I'm going Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, we're going Jeff Wilson.
B. Illa 513. Full PPR, Jeff Wilson, Darrell Henderson, or Myles Gaskin. Also, Kyler Murray or Josh Allen, Kittle or Tanyan. Woo. Okay. I'm going Jeff Wilson. I'm going Kyler Murray, and I'm going Robert Tonyan. Do you go differently, Landon?
No, I stick with that exact scenario.
Paul, if Keenan Allen is out, Russell Gage or Tyron Johnson? I lean Russell Gage.
Yeah, I lean Russell Gage as well. Tyron Johnson holds value, but I still lean Gage as well, Paul.
So does Jalen Guyton. So does Mike Williams. So does Austin Eckler. There's a lot of pieces in that offense.
Yeah.
Now, Hunter is out, so that does mix things up a little bit.
Paul also said Mike Davis or Jeff Wilson. PPR, I think we're leaning Jeff Wilson here. Ray C, Hurts or Herbert. So we've got Herbert higher. We've outlined kind of these quarterbacks a lot. Tricky scenario. Hurts has a ton of upside, but we've seen Herbert have upside as well. Hurts has a great rushing floor, but it's going to be it's got to be Herbert.
I'm going Herbert as well.
Yeah.
Jason, need a flex, Swift or Antonio Brown? I would go Antonio Brown.
Sure. I don't hate it. I think I lean Swift, but
now
barely.
if you believe in the thumbnail magic that this podcast does have, then you go Deandre Swift, as Alvin Kamara was featured in yesterday's stream thumbnail. So people are, there's rumblings in the bushes that there is actually some merit to this.
I don't blame that. I think you're right. I have a great feeling about Swift as well.
Gypsy, Alpaca, full flex in a full PPR, DJ Moore or a B. Damn. This is a tough one for me. Want to know? DJ Moore or AB? I think I need more context for that one.
I'm going to lean DJ Moore. Yes, AB had a great game last week, but we've seen him have these high target numbers and then fall off the next week as soon as we think we can trust him. Godwin is getting healthier. We cannot project Godwin to be the number one right now based on what he has seen, but we know it's possible, right? We know that's in the realm of possibilities that Godwin is still the number one, getting double-digit targets and having a big game. We can't project that because he's just been trashed lately, wide receiver 40 like Mack has outlined. But DJ Moore has done well lately. He should be good. He should be the target leader for the Panthers, and I think he's the one to go here.
Yeah, I mean, DJ Moore's still like a top 5 in total yardage on the season in the NFL. He hasn't felt. He's been kind of living in Robbie Anderson's shadow for the first half of the season, and really with a handful of dud games, he's led fantasy owners astray, but he's got the big playability. He's got the upside. I think that's what you need, and so I'd roll out DJ Moore over AB. That one's close for me, though.
Yep.
Really, really close.
I know you had trouble with that one because you've been touting AB a little bit lately, and I do like AB. It's just I think I like DJ Moore better.
Rob Cha, pick 2 wide receivers: Parker, Crowder, Aguilar, T. Higgins, or Kiki. What is the status on Devontae Parker?
Questionable. Probably will play
against the Raiders with Tua. We've seen that ceiling drop off tremendously. It's not the good old Ryan Fitzpatrick days that we've become accustomed to. Oh, man. Crowder should be hyper-targeted. I kind of want to lean, though, if I got to pick 2, I kind of want to lean between Aguilar and T. Higgins. As crazy as that is to say.
Yeah, I think Crowder
Aguilar?
Oh, man. Pick 2. Crowder,
I just don't
Aguilar.
trust Parker is kind of what I'm trying to say.
No, me neither. I don't either. Crowder, Aguilar. That's gross. Yeah. Or I think QT might be better. I don't know, man.
And make a decision.
This is really tricky, Rob. You've got all of these wide receivers in a very similar tier that they all have like individual upside. Crowder has a 10 reception upside. Like this guy, he can just catch a million balls, but do we really want to trust Darnold? Not really. Aguilar has big play upside, but he just drops a ton of balls. And
Landon, when in doubt, we did all this work in the beginning of the week. Let's just trust the rankings. We've got no other context here. Do we need the ceilings? Do we need the floors? Did we start Kamara? Are we against him? We don't know. So
it's QT and Higgins, says our rankings.
Man.
There you go. That's what it is.
And I'm giving that question the Tilt of the Week Award. Brought
live
to you by our friends at
live
Manscaped.
Tilt. Holy. Okay. That's what it is. Ray C.
Tilt of the Week. Brought to you by the Titanic. The ultimate tilt.
A giant iceberg. Ray C. Rogers, Hurts, or Allen. Man. I mean, Rogers is our number 2 quarterback on the week. He'll expose that Titans defense and can certainly throw a handful of touchdowns. if you're going up against an Alvin Kamara, or you're not the favorite to win, I think you roll out Jalen Hurts for the ultimate ceiling play, just with his mobility and how bad that Dallas defense is. But I would go Aaron Rodgers out of that group.
Yeah, we've got Aaron Rodgers the highest. That's what I would do as well. But context matters,
Context,
my dude.
It certainly does matter. Rob, another question: James Robinson or Antonio Gibson? Rob, are you just trying to just give us the grossest, toughest questions? Because I appreciate you.
I don't think J-Rob plays, so I would go Gibson.
That's perfect. Mini Jordan, PPR, choose a flex: Deontay, Jeff Wilson, DJ Moore, AB, Singletary.
These questions are getting harder as the stream goes on.
I would go Deontay Johnson for the upside. I know the matchup is tougher. I would go Deontay Johnson, and I would go Jeff Wilson if you want to roll out a running back.
It's between those two for sure.
I don't trust Singletary at all.
We got Deontay just slightly ahead of DJ Moore, but they're in a similar tier.
Yep. Deontay's my pick. Jeff Wilson is a close second.
Cool.
Tommy Welt, Tyler Lockett or Kiki QT in a standard league. Gross, man. That is gross. I think you kind of have to roll Tyler Lockett here, but that's gross.
Oh man.
Kiki QT. What is the range of outcomes for him? We've got Brandon Cooks back in the lineup. We've got David Johnson sucking up all of the targets in the interim part of the field. I don't know, man. I think you're praying for a touchdown for Kiki.
You're praying for a big 40-yard touchdown from QT.
I would go Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, our rankings do say Lockett, but they're far too close for comfort. I want to just look at what QT's been doing the past few weeks since Fuller's been out.
I'll go to Jason's question here while you go through that. He's got DJ Moore and Antonio Brown. He's starting Moore, and we're about 50-50 on Swift or AB, so he might run with Swift. Go with that thumbnail magic. Jason, roll that out.
We're at that point.
We are certainly there. We've got about 9 minutes until kickoff here. For those of you that have not liked the stream, please go ahead and consider leaving us a like as well as a subscription if you like the advice that you've gotten or just the banter. Austin, very level-headed. Love reading Austin's comments. This happens two ways. I start Keenan Allen at my flex. He catches one ball for 25 yards and no touchdowns. Or I don't start him, and he goes for 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. Landon will attest to that.
Yeah, that's how it works. You hate it because we thought Keenan would have been active last week and playing. Why would he play if he's banged up? And maybe he's fully healthy today. I just don't trust him. No one trusts him. How could you trust him?
Question. Could this be the ultimate troll landmine move? You drop Keenan Allen to the waivers. You tempt your opponent to pick him up and play him.
Don't even give yourself the temptation on your roster. Just drop him and just let someone else pick him up if they can. If your league allows it, just be like, oh gross. Man, yeah, gross. We're sitting in today.
Grenade indeed. Austin McCorrick, 1 full point PPR running back and a flex. Gaskin, Antonio Brown, Jeff Wilson Jr., Jacoby Myers, and Russell Gage. I would go with Jeff Wilson Jr. out of that group as well as Antonio Brown.
1 point PPR running back and flex. Yep. I don't mind Jeff Wilson and AB.
Mini Jordan also Texans, Colts, Chargers, Eagles defense. I think that the Chargers will be a sneaky defense there.
Yeah, I picked up the Chargers too. I like the Chargers as well.
Did you have an answer to that question, Lando, for Tommy?
For Tommy, my chat jumped. I don't.
There was a Lockett QT.
Oh, Tommy. Oh, it's Lockett.
Beautiful.
It's Lockett.
WB, if down because of Kamara, at wide receiver, should I go Gage, Valdez-Scantling, Lazard, Marquise Brown, or CeeDee Lamb? I think you got to go CeeDee Lamb. Best talent.
CeeDee Lamb or Gage. Go CeeDee, I guess.
Best talent. I understand the upside of Gage. I don't really trust Valdez-Scantling at all. Alan Lazard,
as soon as you think you can trust him,
Alan Lazard really hasn't had the jump in workload since his return. So I think it's between, for me, Gage and CeeDee Lamb. I don't really trust Marquise Brown either. Man, that one's tough. I'm going to leave that one to you, WB. At least we've narrowed it from 5 to 2. But I would go between Gage and CeeDee. JS, cool. Jonathan Taylor, Deandre Swift. My chat just jumped. Sorry.
Yeah, or Wilson. Need 1, and Godwin, Deontay, Ayuk, Higgins need 3. So Godwin, Deontay, and or Deontay. We like Higgins this week. Do you like him over Ayuk, Mackenzie?
So I would go Jonathan Taylor to the running backs, and then I would go Godwin, Deontay Johnson, and Higgins. Yeah.
Cool. All right,
sucks
Scotty,
to fade Brandon Ayuk, but there's a lot of unknowns with that offense. How much do they try to just run the ball with C.J. Beathard? If George Kittle comes back, is he the one that leads this wide receiving core? There's a ton of questions, and I would just rather not take on too many variables. I know that Rashard Higgins is going to be part of the passing attack for the Browns in a really good matchup. So Godwin, DJ, and Rashard Higgins for the wide receivers.
Cool. All right, we got double time for the last 5 minutes before kickoff. Scotty, you can get off Twitter. We got this here now. You're coming in with us. We got Gaskin or Mike Evans, guys. Is it a resounding Gaskin? Or Mike Davis? Mike Davis. I like Gaskin better
against
than Davis
Washington. Yes. Yeah, sure.
You do.
Oh, everyone there?
There we go. I got everyone back.
We're good.
We good?
We are good.
Cool.
Sorry, who did you say? What was the last question we had?
So we can skip over to Andrew, Swift or Taylor, and Gordon.
Taylor.
Who do you like? I like Taylor as well.
In terms of running back, down because of Kamara, have Jeff Wilson, Robinson, and Henderson. Standard league, what are your thoughts? I would go Jeff Wilson, Henderson, Robinson in that order. Landon doesn't think Robinson plays. PPR league, Jonnu or Goddard. I lean Goddard.
Yep.
Oh, we got a kicker question as well. Blankenship versus Pitt. Santos versus the Jags. Nugent versus San Fran. I mean, dude, this is hate kicker questions.
So, Mini Jordan, I've been questioning Blankenship. He's been one of the best kickers. I don't think the weather's going to be too bad on Sunday. It's supposed to be about 6 degrees Celsius, like 41 Fahrenheit, something like that. I don't think the weather's going to really impact it. But if all else fails, just go with a dome game because the weather can be a little bit unpredictable for kickers.
Yeah, Badgley hasn't been great as of late. Missed a couple field goals, been hot and cold. Fairbairn I like against Cincinnati. And, I think it's between Blankenship, who's been just rock solid all year, and Fairbairn, who's got the big legs. So I would go between one of those two.
Okay. Double time now, fellas.
It looks like we are, for whatever reason, getting some feedback on the stream, not getting enough data. So we're going to end the stream. We're going to get to the rest of the questions in the chat. So, keep an eye out for those replies in text format. Thank you so much to everybody who came by today, who's been a part of this community as we've grown. And again, congrats to you guys on the 1,000 subscribers. Appreciate you all. Good luck today, and we will be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. You know where to get us. Let's get these fantasy championships.
Go get them crowns. See you tomorrow.